In September 2019, Stallone said he was keen on making another Rambo movie. This time, he wanted the character to find safety at a Native American reservation. Stallone explained further that the movie would delve into Rambo going back to the reservation where he grew up. It sounds like a great idea for the next Rambo installment to focus more on storytelling rather than being solely action-packed, unlike the previous 5 films: First Blood, Rambo First Blood Part 2, Rambo III, Rambo, and Rambo Last Blood. Sylvester Stallone portrays Rambo, a skilled veteran of the U.S. Army Special Forces deeply affected by his experiences in the Vietnam War. Throughout the series, he uses his military expertise to battle corrupt police, enemy forces, and drug cartels. The first film, First Blood, is based on David Morrell's 1972 novel of the same name. The franchise has been highly successful, grossing a total of $819 million, with Rambo First Blood Part 2 being the most financially successful at $300 million. Stallone not only starred in all 5 films, but also co-wrote their screenplays and even directed one of them, Rambo. Additionally, the Rambo franchise expanded to include an animated television series titled Rambo: The Force of Freedom, along with comic books, novels, and video games. In the last film, Rambo Last Blood, set 11 years after the events in Burma, Vietnam War veteran John Rambo resides at his late father's horse ranch in Bowie, Arizona. He manages the ranch alongside his longtime friend Maria Beltran and her granddaughter Gabriella. Despite Rambo and Maria advising against it, Gabriella decides to travel to Mexico after learning from her friend Giselle that her biological father, Miguel, has been found there. Upon confronting Miguel at his apartment, Gabriella is heartbreakingly told that he never truly cared for her or her mother. Giselle accompanies the distraught Gabriella to a nearby club, where Gabriella is drugged and abducted by members of a Mexican cartel. Back in Arizona, Maria informs Rambo about Gabriella's disappearance, prompting him to rush to Mexico. Rambo interrogates both Miguel and Giselle to trace Gabriella's whereabouts. Reluctantly, Giselle leads Rambo to the club where Gabriella was last seen, where he confronts El Flaco, the man who interacted with Gabriella last. During this time, a mysterious woman named Carmen Delgado begins following Rambo. El Flaco leads Rambo to where Gabriella is being held, but Rambo is ambushed and severely beaten by the cartel, led by brothers Hugo and Victor Martinez. They confiscate Rambo's driver's license, which has his ranch's location, along with a photo of Gabriella that Victor recognizes. Threatening to harm Gabriella further in retaliation for Rambo's interference, the cartel marks him as a target. Carmen takes care of Rambo at her home until he fully recovers after 4 days. Meanwhile, Gabriella is subjected to horrifying abuse, drugged and forced into a nightmarish situation. Carmen reveals she's an investigative journalist focused on the Martinez brothers, who not only kidnapped but also killed her sister. Rambo, fueled by rage and vengeance, launches a brutal raid on one of the brothels, leaving a trail of death until he locates Gabriella in a drugged state. As he drives her home in his pickup truck, Rambo expresses gratitude to Gabriella for bringing him hope over the past decade, but tragically, she succumbs to a forced overdose. Devastated and enraged, Rambo sends Maria away and prepares his ranch with deadly traps, gearing up for a showdown. He then returns to Mexico, seeking Carmen's assistance in tracking down Victor. Initially reluctant, Carmen eventually agrees after Rambo appeals to her own sorrow and frustration. Rambo launches a brutal assault on Victor's residence, eliminating several guards and ultimately decapitating Victor himself. In retaliation, Hugo organizes a large convoy of 7 SUVs filled with mercenaries to attack Rambo's ranch. However, they all meet their demise through Rambo's meticulously prepared traps. Saving Hugo for last, Rambo inflicts gruesome punishment before ending him swiftly. After the intense confrontation, a weary Rambo reflects on his porch at his father's ranch, determined to continue his fight and honor the memories of those he's lost. During the credits, flashbacks from the earlier films in the franchise replay, culminating in Rambo solemnly riding off into the sunset on his horse. Now, if Rambo 6 is made, the franchise cannot kill Rambo. The Rambo franchise has endured for so long, largely due to John Rambo's seemingly invincible nature. Killing off this iconic action hero in Rambo 6 would be a major misstep, Rambo began as a misunderstood war veteran in First Blood and has since transformed into a super soldier who can take on any number of adversaries. It's thrilling to watch Rambo evolve from battling a group of rural police officers to single-handedly taking down an army of mercenaries in 2008's Rambo, embodying the essence of Hollywood action. Rambo is the ultimate underdog, starting as a struggling veteran and transforming into an invincible war hero. His backstory is both realistic and brutal, quickly earning audience sympathy due to his mistreatment in the original First Blood. Even as he performs incredible militarized feats in the sequels, he remains grounded and relatable. Rambo's mission is always to help others who are in dire situations. In Rambo First Blood Part 2, for example, he aims to rescue a POW because he understands the horrors of being captured and tortured. Despite his often brutal methods, Rambo fights for what is right and consistently helps those in need, even as his actions become increasingly over the top. Rambo's extreme methods lead to even more extreme situations, making him appear as an invulnerable one-man army. Killing off John Rambo in Rambo 6 would waste this unique quality. It's becoming common in modern films to create sequels that bring back legacy characters only to kill them off, passing the torch to a new generation. While this approach works for realistic characters like Rocky, who faces genuine risks in Creed III, Rambo is irreplaceable. He thrives as a mysterious Mad Max-like figure, an undying legend who appears to save the day and then fades into obscurity until he's needed again. Rambo 6 would miss the opportunity to showcase Rambo facing an even larger number of adversaries, a hallmark of the series. In 2019's Rambo Last Blood, we saw an older Rambo on a vengeful path against a drug cartel, proving he can still take on many enemies. As an action hero, Rambo has naturally evolved throughout the series, and his death in a new installment wouldn't align with the series' theme. If the series must continue, it would be better to leave Rambo's fate ambiguous rather than explicitly killing him off. John Rambo has been a beacon of hope as an invincible war hero throughout the Rambo series. His journey from First Blood to Rambo Last Blood has been marked by increasingly extreme challenges, and a potential Rambo 6 risks tarnishing his legacy by killing him off. John Rambo, a tragic figure who has survived countless impossible situations, deserves to live on, allowing his legacy to continue. Instead, the franchise should pursue a prequel. Sylvester Stallone's idea for a Rambo prequel expands on the best part of John Rambo's First Blood story arc while allowing Rambo Last Blood to truly be the Last Blood. Rambo Last Blood introduced heavy implications for the titular Vietnam War vet, but a prequel would be more beneficial than making Rambo 6. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Stallone said, "I wanted to do a Rambo prequel like a Ken Burns documentary on Vietnam, where you drop young Rambo in there, and he's this outgoing guy, football captain, and then you see why he becomes Rambo." This prequel would return the character to his grounded roots and build on the legacy of the acclaimed first movie. Having a better understanding of how John Rambo transformed from an outgoing guy to a literal killing machine would add much-needed context and depth to all the Rambo movies. Stallone's prequel idea would particularly benefit First Blood by doing justice to a character who originally served as a trailblazer for on-screen depictions of PTSD and war trauma. Well, that's it for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on the latest updates. Share your thoughts with us on this in the comment section. Do you think a Rambo prequel is the way to go, or should the franchise continue with another sequel? We'd love to hear your opinions. Until next time, stay tuned and stay entertained.